Greetings and salutations, my name is Gabriel and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. I can feel that we are approaching the end of our campaign. We have been betrayed, we have been backstabbed, we have been bamboozled, and now we are ready for some vengeance. Gabriel is primed to go in after his dear friend Isador, who has stabbed him in the back and made off with the Maledictum, the ancient relic containing the soul of a demon, or, well, just a demon, but yeah. So, a lot of treachery in the last episode. I'm eager to see where it goes from here, so let's get into it.
I first met the librarian Isador Achios when I was still a battle brother with no men at my command. Over 30 years in service, and I had not even attained veteran status. I had seen the power of the librarians and their neophytes, but none who wielded the kind of raw power, ability, and will that Isador possessed. In battle, I discovered that these traits were matched only by his knowledge and wisdom. He was truly a great man. He will be missed. Now I go to destroy the traitorous individual who inhabits Isador's form. Emperor, give me strength.
What news, Sergeant? The Chaos Marines retreated to this city and entrenched themselves. Whatever is to happen, will happen here. And the good captain? I would call him starved for vengeance. But my words are inadequate to encompass his fury.
Make ready. We have wasted enough time and suffered for it.
Agreed. But we know nothing of our enemy or his intentions. Bale was someone's pawn. Sindri, he called him.
Sindri is not my concern. Isador is. He has fallen, and he will find me at his doorstep.
Now you know the full weight of my original concerns. I must admit, I was surprised that it was Isador who succumbed.
I know. You suspected me.
It takes either steel or rot to willingly condemn your own world, your very family, to the torch. I sensed the seed of chaos in your midst, and you seemed too eager to uncover this planet's secrets. But I was so certain the taint stemmed from you that I failed to notice its true source in Isador. I was wrong, Captain.
We will discuss the matter another time, Inquisitor. For now, we have an enemy who demands our ministrations.
You allowed me to take the stone. You were true to your word, and for that you are a fool. Better I keep the Maledictum with me. You are too weak to stomach its gifts. And now I will use its power to destroy you.
Lord Bale was likewise foolish in believing me defenseless, believing himself in control.
Make it stop!
The orcs thought more of their abilities than they did of me, but I relied on their arrogance at my benefit alone.
Please!
You, however, you hold promise. And for that, I should let you die before you prove too great a threat. But I have invested too much effort into you. And had you a century to prepare, it would still be too late to stop me from achieving my glory. Now I must prepare. Attend to the captain's demise, if you are capable.
What makes you think that I will do your bidding?
You have little choice. Your captain is quite tenacious. You more than anyone know that. You will have to deal with him, and that benefits me. Oh, and thank you for delivering the maledictum.
You cannot abandon me now!
Oh, but I can, and I do. At least I leave you in good company. Now, prove yourself worthy. Go, spill the blood of those who were your brothers. Spill the blood. Blood for the blood god.
There it is. To absolutely no one's surprise, Isador has in turn been betrayed by Sindri, who is very much living up to his Alpha Legion origins. Oh man. Oh well, we're gonna have to kill him now. But in other news, that was a bloodthirster, I think. Which is terrifying, because that is a, if I'm not mistaken, that's a greater demon of Khorne. I would have thought the Alpha Legion would have been more, I thought they were Zinchian based, you know, trickery, changer of ways type things, but also I saw the horrors of Zinch with them, but seems I may have been misled. Seems they might be Chaos Undivided. Goes to show the extent of my stupidity. But just going off the fact that they have a bloodthirster, who I'm sure is easily the equal of the Avatar of Cain, we are going to first and foremost focus on fortification. Again, if it isn't obvious which chapter or legion I must relate to, it is most assuredly the Imperial Fists. Shout out to my boy Rogadorn, the Lord did you dirty. But yes, not to break away from what works, because, well, there's no much need to. We are going to focus on a quick and decisive capturing of all the local strategic points, which, for the record, actually is a very common motif of RTS games I tend to notice. Like, you know, there's always that early rush to grab all the useful stuff around you and stop the other guy from getting it first. In this regard, we aren't going to push out too far, though, because, of course, in the opening cutscene, I saw a bloodthirster, and I really don't feel like dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight right now. At least not until I have some heavier cannons. So, yeah, we're just going to focus really quickly on not just capturing, but, of course, securing, and then putting up some defenses, because, as usual with these missions, and has been the trend for the later half of this game, we are outgunned. But we will have to quickly fix that as rapidly as we can if we have any hopes of actually, you know... What? Already? Oh! Oh no! Okay. It seems our, it seems Chaos will not let us use our usual motifs. This is intriguing. Alright then, if they're going to use rush tactics, well, luckily for us, we've already got a squad of Chaos, regular Space Marines, not Chaos Space Marines, up and ready to go, and we've also got, luckily we spawned with our two commanders, because I'm pretty sure each of them can probably take on a squad by themselves. Or at least I hope so. That would be, like, the equivalent power, I guess. Ignoring, you know, stuff like the Emperor's Protection and death save rolls. Yeah, just there. Just see how long it's taken to fight off this one squadron. That's why it's so important to get the heavier tier weapons, like, and also upgrade our defenses. Again, wow, okay. Wow, this is not the best scenario for us. If we can't even manage to maintain a hold of our... Oh, wow. They are just coming and coming and coming. It seems we've got ourselves a dark tide washing over us. Haha! I'm actually a little nervous. This is the most aggressive the AI has been for the entire game. So, I must admit, I'm a little bit... I'm by no means shook, but I am excited to see how hard this level's going to go. Is this going to be, instead of us attacking them, them attacking us, is this going to be a defensive level for once? We did do one of those earlier with the Eldar one, but it stopped being defensive and more became a nuisance. But if this is going to be an honest-to-God chaos rush towards ourselves, we better put down some more turrets.
Our aim is true.
I'm actually surprised they haven't already taken this, but I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, so hopefully our scouts can take them. You know, if those snipers want to shoot anytime soon. Okay, come on guys. You can do it. You've got the cover bonus. Keep in mind, these are fledgling Space Marines, I'm assuming, who have already probably gone through their basic augmentations. I don't know if the, I know that probably means they've been injected with the June Seed, but I'm assuming they haven't actually gained the privilege yet of having the full armor adornment given to them yet. So it is amusing to me to a degree that, you know,
enemy positions.
I would like to think that they are still somewhat capable. That's going to make taking that relic point a little bit trickier. But that's, I guess we'll make that our first, you know, like, haha, that's our first objective, Space Marines. But because I feel more comfortable now that the base is somewhat established. We've only got literally 4 strategic points to our name, so we're going to have to take things a degree slower than I'm used to. But to augment, to rectify this, we're gonna need to capture more points. But our resources are really suffering right now. The best hope we have is just
Emperor. What foul demon has he summoned? To me, brothers, let us send this spawn back where it belongs.
This right here was why I panicked at the beginning and rushed the resources. This exact scenario. Oh my God, look at him. Oh, wow, he's playing badminton with my boys. I genuinely don't even know, like, what's most effective against a demon. Oh, wow, but he is destroying morale. I guess that makes sense, you know, you're seeing a little abomination from the warp. Let's pray boltifiers and rockets are sufficient to at least, you know, send him back to where he came from. Crap. He's a little goofier than I expected for a bloodthirster, but I'll take it.
While the enemies of the Emperor still travel.
Wow, this is... That was not a small amount of firepower.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby.
I am prepared.
I am now a lot more nervous. That was not a small amount of firepower. That was 2 squads of Space Marines, 2 of the gun platforms, upgraded to the rockets tier, and 1 of our strategic point turrets.
On patrol.
And from what I saw there, that was it still managed to do a terrible amount of damage to us. So I'm a little bit concerned about
strategic point identified.
Fighting any more of those going forwards.
Today the enemy shall know
Hopefully
fear.
there won't be another one going forwards, but I don't think I'm that lucky.
No fear.
That was actually
Scouts
intimidating.
ready. Scouts
I should have checked while I had it there what type of armor class it was. I didn't think that one through. We'll just have to compensate with
Today the enemy
more
shall
gun
know fear.
next time we come across one. Hopefully by then I either have Predator tanks, Land Raiders, or the Blessed Dreadnoughts. Speaking of, just realized we don't even have a machine pool. Not a machine pool, it's machine cult. It's cult.
I will do as you are here to serve.
Yeah, we're a little trapped for space building in these ruins here, but
Initializing build protocol.
I have to say, after watching that Bloodthirster come in, we are going. I don't feel like I was mistaken choosing to focus defense, because if those 2 squads hadn't been there to distract it with their bodies, that thing would have easily taken the gun platforms and probably our strategic turret as well. So we need to definitely up our firepower if we're gonna come across anything, even anything equivalent to that. Like if that had come with its own squad of Chaos Marines or some of the Demon Host, we would have been in a lot of trouble. That could have been really bad. So for now, our focus is this relic and securing the area even more. Because if we had fought that thing on open ground, away from all our defenses and this port fire of our base, it would have decimated us. It would have taken us. It would have sent us literally back to the Golden Throne. That was Madhouse. Okay, much to my embarrassment, there's going to have to be a cut there, so just to catch up. Unfortunately, there was some fighting there that I had to skip over, and I set up a little forward operating base on the strategic point left of the relic. My audio did a poop, so yeah, that is unfortunate, but basically what ended up happening is the strategic points. I made note of the fact, pointing out the fact that the strategic points on this map especially seem to be extremely close together, and that's going to cause our battles to become sort of, I think the best way to describe it would be like little islets of defense. So basically we're going to do little hops, for the most part, from strategic point to strategic point, capturing them as we go, just for that defensive safeguard to our rear. Because from what I've seen, the Chaos aren't pulling their punches this time around. Before we were fighting cultists, Chaos Space Marines, demons, and even those Defiler tanks, but now it's a little bit different because they're coming at us in a degree that is with a startling more deal of ferocity. So we're not just dealing with like what we were dealing before, but we're also dealing with the addition of a lot more daemon host, I've noted, so a lot more of like the possessed soldiers, which just excel at melee, so that's something to be wary of. And I haven't really seen an armored presence yet, which is making me nervous, because I bet there is one, and if they decide to bring that forward, that could be problematic. Because I know for a fact they have access to not demons, sorry. Well, yes, demons, because they have the obliterators and the defiler tanks. But also, I know for a fact that they probably have access to either corrupted predator tanks, and most terrifyingly of all, they could even have access to more of those bloodthirsters, which are a walking, bloody squad annihilator easily. So we are going to be playing relatively safe by hugging towards our strategic points and the safeguards we have there. But of course, as usual, our scouts will guide the way for us, and we'll see what's the best course of action by following in the wake of our scouts. I don't feel comfortable at this point splitting up my forces to do multiple objectives, so for the time being we'll be focusing on a single linear objective-based style of play, simply for the safety it provides us, because at this point I would rather have my other forces supplement my defense rather than have them operate by going to retrieve other objectives. But yeah, for the time being, that's going to be our main goal, is upgrading and focusing on a linear strategic capture strategy. One of those, and right there, and right there. Emperor protects! Woo! Ooh, that's a lot of firepower. Alright, let's see what wins. 2 dreadnoughts, or a, let's say roughly 50 bolters? Thereabouts? It'll be a tight battle. I'm just going to put them on the aggressive one, although I'm probably going to actually have to direct you, aren't I, big guy? There we go. Yep. Just marched him over. It's... I was hoping he would focus buildings first, but he seems to be getting distracted. That's okay. This was honestly a test in my head. We'll just make some more. Ah, requisition! Why do you hate me?
Here to serve.
I don't know why I clicked that. I just saw that we're low on requisition. But no, I clicked it anyway. Oh, we've already lost one. Alright. Not bad. They seem to have scattered the troops, or at least sent some of them packing, so that's an interesting... Oh, wow, and we're being attacked. This, right here. This little attack right here is why we built up our defenses at every point we capture, and why I've been so hesitant to press the assault. So, while they're going off to defend there, we'll just build up some more big guns here. At this point, our guns are more a tool of dissuasion. See, there it is. I was nervous about attacking for this exact reason, because I was afraid it would attract more. Wow, they've got their devastators, obliterators, whatever you want to call those giant, bloody Terminator armored monstrosities. I think they're obliterators. I can't remember the name. I keep mixing them up between Devastators and Obliterators, and I can't work out why. There is something called a Devastator something in the wh40k universe, but I cannot recall for the life of me what it is. Our rockets are doing work. They've managed to take out... See, they managed to take out some of our gun emplacements during the time it was taking us just to walk over here. That is how much more serious a threat they are this level. We're not fighting some orcs that are like playing Madhouse, just having fun. We're not fighting Eldar, which are playing super defensively and letting us come to them. We're fighting actual orcs that seem... I mean, bleh, we're fighting actual Chaos Marines that are actually out to destroy us. This is the most resistance I've seen from an enemy force yet, which makes me pretty confident we're definitely getting close to the end of the game now, because not even the super long, super annoying Eldar mission took this long. To my own surprise, and my own... Wow, merriment, I should say. One of our dreadnoughts managed to survive that deployment there. I reckon that's probably what those troops attacking the westernmost strategic point are. They're probably the scattered remnants of the troops we scared off from there. But, not important right now, so just to make... No, we won't drop anyone there. We're going to drop someone over here and reinforce this area. We are going to be taking massive advantage of the space bridge, of the orbital relay. It's going to be one of the key components to us, not just surviving, but winning. As soon as we will rely on the Dreadnought and the Scouts to capture that point up there. For now, we'll focus on defending here. I'm hoping our Dreadnought... He's doing alright. He's having some fun. See, he's getting rid of the... He's chopping him. He's giving him the chop. But yeah, that left-hand furthest corner on the minimap, we are going to rely on the Dreadnought and the Scouts to destroy and capture those strategic points for us. Oh, no! I wasn't paying attention. I'm getting... This is not good. I'm being pushed to the brink. We'll get another Dreadnought up and going. Luckily, that Defiler tank they have down there that just destroyed one of our strategic points, I mean, our listening posts, isn't going to be able to capture it, because vehicles can't capture. They will, however, so it's a good thing we still have a gun placement there, because it'll go a long way to stop them from capturing it just yet. We will send some reinforcements down there and recapture that point as soon as possible. I think finally everything's calming down for a moment, which is good. We'll quickly capture these points here, and that'll stop Chaos from doing anything. It might be to my benefit to quickly get some... yep. Anyway, I was about to say get a Servitor over there. We're being attacked by the Defiler over there, I still think. They are using Chaos magics to summon in more troops. I just saw that before, the little triangles on the ground there. I thought that's the same symbol we get when we use our orbital relay. They must be using some bloody warp trickery to summon their troops in too, so they also have a similar amount. I wonder if that gives them a similar amount of mobility to us. Do they just need line of sight? If so, it is probably to our own benefit to make sure that we destroy everything. See, they're doing it again.
I am ready to pass.
Just looking at that makes me think it might be to our benefit to destroy literally every single Chaos Force we come across to stop them from being able to teleport behind us. Okay, so they managed to take it, so we'll need to drop some reinforcements there. Luckily, we have a Dreadnought available. We drop them quick enough, we'll be able to stop them capturing it. Come on, come on, come on. Get out there, big guy. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Damn it! Alright, they managed to neutralize the point. That's fine. I'll get a squad of scouts or something over there as soon as possible. Probably actual Marines, actually. There's no point in me really using scouts anymore, except for exactly scouting. In combat, even our Marines are having trouble with all the obliterators and stuff, so we're just going to have to play it safe.
Strategic point identified.
But at least that far left-hand corner is now taken care of. I feel a lot more comfortable with that. But yeah, now it's time to actually make do and get back to work. So we'll quickly secure that area, secure the strategic points, secure the resources, secure, secure, secure. That is the name of the game right now. It is securing and holding. As soon as we have a big enough army, maybe we can start thinking about retaliation. But yeah, no, if they're going to keep coming at us with this degree of ferocity, it's going to be just us heavily focusing on securing and holding.
I am ready to pass.
They do not stop coming. This is amazing. This is incredible. This is everything I wanted. Just non-stop armies being thrown at each other. It's awesome. I'm loving it. I am actually a little bit intimidated now because they have managed to destroy nearly every single one of our gun placements. They just keep coming though. It's crazy. Oh wow. The channel time on the orbital bombardment is a touch long, and I feel like that is very fair considering what it is, but it's also very aggravating because I need that to fire a lot quicker. Wonder if there's an upgrade for it. I actually don't read a lot of the upgrades. It's a very bad habit of mine. In my head, my brain just thinks more numbers, yes. Oh, but this is nuts, honestly. Like, but I don't think we can maintain anymore. We need to do something because they don't stop. They're just gonna keep coming, which means we need to do something. Because holding has done nothing but cost us buildings and requisition. So if that's the way it's going to be, we're going to have to retaliate, because we can't allow them to keep controlling the flow of battle. It is genuinely to our own detriment that we let them do that. So,
taking damage.
We won't let them do that. We will instead be the ones... We need to, firstly, hence why I've moved these guys down here. I figured out the best thing for us to do, in all honesty, is to hamstring them. We are going to bleed them of requisition, at least on this side of the map, on our side of the map I should say, because it's the quickest way for us to probably slow their assaults will be to limit the amount of resources they have access to. In lieu of actually launching an assault on them, because again, we need to hold these points, this will have to be the best we do. So we'll have a primary force defending our central area where we are suffering the most assaults at... Speak of the devil. And we're going to rely on two periphery forces on our wings to sort of encircle the map and capture strategic points that are less heavily defended. By doing this, we will not only hamstring the enemy's resources and increase our own, but I'm hoping that we might also have the chance to draw, like right now, I'm hoping we might have the chance to draw some of their attention away from that central area, because we can't keep sustaining massive raids like we have been. The Obliterators alone can destroy the gun encampments using their long-range las cannons, because they think they actually outrange, or not outrange, but they out-tank the gun encampments if they have the rocket upgrade, and the only way they're in range is with the rocket upgrade. So, by that logic, unfortunately, we're going to need to rely on the central area being defended by Marines who can move forward and back as need be. Like, see, even right now, the Obliterator, it's causing problems for us. Their the Defiler tank there is causing problems for us, and this is exactly what I mean. They have not stopped with these central assault over this bridge and from our right-hand flank towards the center, all for this relic point. They desperately want the relic point. They have made that more than clear. So, as I was stated already, we are going to focus on a central defense strategy with periphery armies capturing resource points as they go.
At last, back to war.
I suppose it doesn't matter what the Chaos guys really do, because even if they take... We've managed to push out far enough that if they try to take the relic in the center, we can always push back with reinforcements from our base. Okay, so they seem to have Predators up here on the right flank as well, which is interesting because we have seen them come up the center, so I wonder if they have their own machine cult somewhere over on this side of the map. You don't see a lot of mentions of the Dark Mechanicus now that I think about it in wh40k lore. Or is that just me? Am I just the one? Am I just being obtuse? I just, not a lot of it comes to mind, you know? Like, when you think about them, even though they're really important. Because, you know, like, they're a very essential part of the Chaos war machine. Like... Can you just picture Chaos was just... Yeah, no, we had tanks once, then we left the Imperium of Man. Now we hit things with sharp, pointy pieces of metal.
Awaiting orders.
Korn likes it.
I am the instrument of his will.
But yeah, like, this is what I meant with all the points being really close to each other. Like, look, right here, this isn't that far from our base. It's not that far from the other one either. Like, we're just at this point shepherding the few remaining points of defense over on this side of the map. But that will not be the case for much longer.
I am the instrument of his will.
There we go. Lay them out.
I will crush those who stand before
Yeah,
me.
see, we don't need to be too overly... I don't want to be too overly focused on attack yet, but at this point we're starting to get up the forces necessary to mount our counterattack. But I don't want to jump the gun and be too overly optimistic, not until at least we've managed to handle what few remaining forces are on our side of the map. Watching them retreat now gives me confidence that we're getting closer, but again, it's really a matter of us just making sure that there are none left.
Objective logged.
Because it's, as you've seen before, like a single one of their Defiler tanks and a squad of Marines can take one of our resource points, and then immediately, not even joking here, then immediately our resources are hemorrhaged in a way that's really detrimental to us, because a lot of the fighting does come down to us and our ability to replenish our troops. Like, just prime example here. Immediately, boom, there's a couple hundred requisition points. Then we need to build replacement gun cannons. Boom, there's some more requisition points. And it's just, that's how things are going right now. And these obliterators are terrifying, by the way. Like, genuinely, look at this. He's just face tanking all these rockets.
Follow me into battle. I shall not fail.
It's genuinely impressive.
Advance. On alert,
The amount of
brothers.
fire just one of
The
these
enemy
big
must
guys
be
takes.
nearby.
And they come in squads of like 3+, I'm pretty sure.
Faith is eternal.
I gotta admit, Chaos seem to have the better Marine troops, although we haven't actually gotten to see what happens when you throw a Terminator squad up against an Obliterator squad, so I'm not sure what the balance is between the two. And truthfully, I don't want to. I don't want to have fair fight. I want to throw tanks at them. I want to throw orbital bombardments. I want to throw librarians, force commanders. I want to obliterate them out of existence, and that's just what we're gonna do.
Faith is eternal. We seek the enemy. We shall cleanse.
I feel like the bridge on this map was probably designed as maybe a dividing factor, especially considering we're meeting the most resistance where we come across these bridges. Which, alright, fair enough, if that's how you want to split the map. I'm willing to do it, Chaos. We can play that game. We can each stick to our sides, but you came to my side first, so technically this is a retaliatory strike. Because that matters in the 41st millennium. Oh no, my Dreadnought! I can't believe this happened to him! If only I didn't have a bunch of reinforcements just waiting in the wings!
I have awoken.
Oh wait, I do.
Into the maelstrom of battle.
This is so inconvenient. I can't believe they'd do this to me. Now, this is an example of what our plan was from the beginning. At this point, we've obtained enough military might that we can now officially begin our rebuttal attack. But rather than us mounting it from the center, we're going to mount it from the wing over here on the far eastern side of the map. Because, truthfully, it's not really... it's just not a wise decision for us to at all sacrifice our defense in the center. Truthfully, I'm not against the idea of us expanding from here over on the west side of the map either, but again, it is going to be a touch more risky, and for that reason, I am willing, I suppose would be the best word, I'm willing to expend the troops necessary for us to get the job done.
Scouts ready.
See, this is fine. We've come across the listening post where there's no reinforcements. That's fine. That can be handled by a Dreadnought. That's easy as. Over here, however, we've got the majority of our force. I'm probably going to end up using the force on the right to curve into the center and attack in that manner without actually sacrificing our troops that are protecting the relic that's central. And the reason, again, just a reminder in case you've forgotten, The reason we need to support the central relic in this map specifically is because we need that to get access to our land raiders and our terminators. Both troops I have plans for.
The Emperor's finest reporting.
Okay, now for the sake of protecting the relic in the center, we're going to officially begin our expedition into the center. The reason for this being the strategic points on either side of the bridge on the Chaos side of things will allow us to get another strategic defensive stronghold. Essentially, I just want to be able to give the relic some extra breathing room in concerns to enemy attacks. Just because it's a lot. Like, it's not a small amount of it's not a small amount of damage it's taken. In fact, it's quite a substantial amount of forces that they've thrown at it right up the center, so at this point it seems wise for us just to provide it with another degree of defense. And listening posts, while they're not great by themselves, they buy me time that I can use to either drop reinforcements in or... Sorry, I keep getting distracted because it seems like the Chaos troops want to try and take that right flank, but they're not sending, they keep backing off because they don't have enough troops or something. Once again, I'm confronted by these obliterators, and once again, I find the easiest answer is an orbital bombardment. Is it overkill? Possibly. Do I care? Not really. But yeah, this is exactly what I mean. Because they can do that demonic summoning thing, I feel the need to expand our defensive radius is not one I can simply let pass. At this point, it feels crucial.
Build routine 721 initiated.
So yeah, once we've now that we've secured this side of the bridge, we're going to construct the listening post on the other side, and then we'll have the bridge locked off by a security checkpoint made up of listening posts and heavily armored tanks. I don't want this dreadnought going too far out, but yeah, okay, good. Yeah, some of the stances, like I said now, this is always said with the point in mind to remember that this is indeed an older game, but I always find myself finding that some of the stances can be a little bit more strict. Like there's hold your ground and stand your ground. I would really like, one is blue, in which they do not move at all and they just open fire on enemies, and the yellow one is they're meant to defend a point, but they're allowed to maintain some mobility with it. Some mobility gives them a lot of leeway. Case in point, I looked away, he ended up overextending. That is problematic, but not crazily so. Because again, we have reached a point in this game where we are able to immediately drop reinforcements to cover our weaknesses. This is why I have them always locked and loaded, specifically because the Chaos guys tend to mount these little rebuttal attacks, and at this point, I'm aware of it. At this point, it's common knowledge to me that they're going to retaliate, so I've always got some troops in the background. Not much point upgrading him, but I'll do it just in case he does survive, specifically, so that he can keep up. It might be worth sending another servitor over there, but at this point, I'm not sure whether I want to risk it. Yeah, see, he ended up dying anyway, so their predator tanks are genuinely a concern, because they have been doing, they're basically anti-dreadnoughts. I'm not sure if it's worth me investing in Hellfire dreadnoughts to combat them either, or getting another predator tank down here. I like the dreadnoughts because I can A-drop them in. Just drop pods, yes, boom, Lord. There they are. We've got a dreadnought.
Build routine 721 initiated.
It really is tricky. It is one of the trickiest things in RTS games, in my personal opinion, is mounting multiple fronts. Because I also, like, if I had access to hotkeys, I tried looking for hotkey function, but I must be, like, a little bit daft or something. I could not find something that resembles a hotkey system. Again, it's distinctly possible I'm just not that bright. I am aware of my shortcomings, but I just couldn't find anything, so... See, there's a fun fact here. There's this really cool armored vehicle in the Warhammer 40k universe. I think, I can't remember what it's called exactly. It might be a Predator Redeemer tank or something, but it's used specifically by the, not specifically, but it is used primarily by the Salamanders, which are another Astartes chapter that have a fiery motif, and they favor the use of flame and flame-based warfare. And the tank I'm thinking of, although I probably got the name wrong, is a heavily armored, it might be a Lehman Russ or something actually. I think it's a Predator though. Maybe even a Land Raider actually, it might even be a Land Raider, but essentially it's just a tank, or no, actually a better way to describe it is it's a massive pair of flamers inside a tank chassis. And I love the idea of that. I simply adore it, because I can't think of anything more devastating against an army of infantry like the Tyranids, or even the Orcs for that matter. But then again, with the Orcs, you do have to be concerned about the fact that they also have armored troops of their own. See, this, again, is another prime example of what I was referring to before about the enemy having sizable retaliatory ability. They are by no means the weaker units. They can indeed combat anything I throw at them. And this right here is they're withering down my wing flanks now, because my wing flanks are where we press the attack from. So I have to make the decision on what to do further. Because we're getting close to their stronghold now, so now they're in the position we were in earlier, where they have access to a large amount of their troops, and we are the attacking force. So it's going to be a situation of, can I muster the troops, or will they whittle me down before I can mount a sizable attack? For now, we'll just have to play defensive until we can get reinforcements up to the front lines. As difficult as that will be.
Predator tank here. Moving out.
Faith is our shield.
I'm sure I've talked about it previously, but a lot of the cuts I've made in my previous videos, not that I make, but I will make, are like periods of silence, or periods of me talking about random nonsense. It all comes back to why I wanted to make these YouTube videos. Like, I know that a lot of the YouTube algorithm and stuff is all like flashy, crazy stuff, and I love flashy, crazy stuff. Stuff made by like Maxwell, especially, like where it looks like where after watching it, I feel like my brain is running high on an adrenaline rush, where it just got finished fighting a fist fight with lights and sounds. I like that. I do enjoy watching those. The reason I decided to start making this, though, is because, you know, I got hit by the nostalgia bug, and I wanted to recall that time where I had so much fun experiencing a new universe, and the Warhammer 40k universe especially, despite it being grim dark, I found myself kind of enraptured by this alien realm. Because it is, you know, everything sucks, everything's awful, but yet still people try. I think that was what originally attracted me to it. And, you know, of course, big guys, big guns, big explosions, I make no secret of that. And that's why I wanted to come back and play this, and experience the, and re-experience this story. Despite the fact that I know it's probably not the most entertaining, or it's going to get the craziest amount of views to begin with. You know, if I was going to start making YouTube videos, I wanted it to be something I wanted to do. Like right now, just even though I'm currently losing footing and I'm suffering losses for it, I'm still having a good time. Oh wait, the obliterators can capture points? Oh man, I'm jealous. So they really are an infantry unit. Damn, I'm envious. Sorry, I got off topic there. But yeah, like I really like the Warhammer 40k universe, and I like the fan base for it the most. Some of the fans of 40k are absolutely crazy to me, and I don't just mean like the badass army painters and all that. I actually mean like some of the animators. Love them. Some of the stories that get written for the 40k universe. If you've never read, sorry, not like yeah. You don't need to read, audiobooks are a thing, but if you've never experienced The Last Church, go read it. Go experience it is a better terminology, because that is amazing. And I think that's official 40k content, but also there's so many just fan content creators for the 40k universe, like Vox and the Void, I think, are their names. They tell some of the most heartbreaking stories. Listen, there's this one about this Ogren. Go listen to it. It will pluck at your heartstrings. It is devastating. Absolutely devastating. But yeah, like, see, as much as I love RTS games, I understand that from a viewpoint of just watching it, there are periods like this, where it's just me moving troops into battle, building things, repairing things, because the way my playstyle is not indicative of fast-paced action, unfortunately, for RTS games. I try to build up. I much prefer a slow, steady, especially against these Chaos guys specifically. I really do prefer a slow and steady build to my forces, because it's just far more effective. Honestly, I found it far more effective. Like, right now, manning these three armies, the furthest western army, the eastern army, and our central northern army, although they're not really northern as they are just near the center of the map, it's shown great results, like being able to effectively combat the army's ability and their mobility against my own by just laying down massive suppressive defensive points has been, in my opinion, is effective. I'm sure that there are other playstyles that I could use against this level, like maybe a fast-paced blitzkrieg against all their troops, where I just split down the far left side, or straight down the center, or straight down the far eastern side. To be honest, it'd probably be the left to the east, I can imagine being the most effective. But yeah, no, this to me is my playstyle. It's slow-paced, it's methodical, but it functions. But I can't argue against the results. Even though right now I'm going against a lot of my own instincts with this playstyle, because I've split my troops rather rather thin across the front. This goes against my instincts. I might need to drop some troops up there to capture that point, because I don't see a way up to it. But I might be wrong. I might go and investigate it. But yeah, at this point, we've got a defensive front. Honestly, if I had the option, if the Hellfires had some more range, I'd probably build a few of them and chuck them up on the towards where we've built a lot of our listening posts, and just bombard the Chaos troops. That's another option. I could see myself doing that. It's another tactic. And that's what I love about RTS games. I think StarCraft, being the most prevalently famous RTS, probably has the widest display of these tactics that you can see. But it's one of my favorite things about RTS games is the tactics that you can see and the way they clash and mesh and adapt to each other. It's one of the coolest things about RTS, and I'm going to need to find a way to get up there, because I want that listening point.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace. I shall not fail.
because we've spread our forces relatively thin on the left side, we're going to focus on, see, here's an example. Because they are aware that we have less forces, like the AI is aware that the left side's a little bit weaker than the right, they've been launching these tiny little raiding parties. And by tiny, I mean no more than like a single squad in an armored vehicle to go with them, or just 2 squads. And the problem is that, thanks to obliterators, they're a problem. They are a concern, but that's fine. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to again expand up the right flank and rely on our Inquisitor and Gabriel to kind of carry. But we're going to give them a Predator tank, of course, just to be safe. But at this point, I feel like we've nearly completely encompassed the Chaos Forces. So once we actually do that, I think they will be sufficiently weakened that I won't have to be... I think it'll be then just a matter of mopping up. But for now, we need to finish the circle. We need to really wrap it up, as it were.
Ever vigilant.
Now, because we've begun the assault on the right side, again, by assault I'm talking about a slow, methodical advance in which we devastate the enemy and capture all strategic value points. I'm not talking about us just running in and destroying stuff. If we're going to be doing that on the right, I also want to do it on the left, and the main reason for this is if one side falters, that's fine. I can recover that with the troops that I still have in the center and just reposition them. But I also want to do this because in doing so, it will hopefully draw a lot of defensive forces from either flank. So essentially, if one side fails, so be it. But I'd rather at least have it so that if one side does fail, it fails making things easier for the other side.
Onward to glory.
Now, over on this side, there doesn't seem to be... I've noticed that it's more of just a wall, like a defensive barricade, and then the base is situated atop on these ziggurat-like structures. On top of the hilltops, I mean. This right side, though, seems to be a lot more... It looks a lot more like a mini-base. And I've also noticed that there's a lot more armored vehicles coming from this way, so if I had to put money on it, I would say there's definitely a machine cult and possibly a mini-base over on this right side, and their central base is definitely over there positioned on top of the hill. So, for that matter, for that reason, what we're about to do is, on the right side, is going to be a lot more seek and destroy, whereas the left side is going to be a lot more raiding-based. Essentially, just item destruction. Over here, well, to be completely frank, I want these strategic points. Even though, at this point, yes, I know if you look up on the left, I have a ridiculous amount. The mentality here isn't, I have plenty. The mentality here is, I want them to have none. Well, seems we were spot on about the mini-base down here on the eastern front, so I feel somewhat vindicated. And more importantly, I feel very eager to see it all go up in flames.
Agree. For the Emperor.
So, I have to say that as far as powers go, so keeping in mind that the orbital bombardment is actually just a unit power, it is arguably one of the most OP things I've ever seen. Despite the fact, and like in any RTS game for that matter. Now I know for a fact that there are some crazy powerful RTS things out there. Command & Conquer's nukes come to mind, the Iron Cannon, yada yada yada, but those aren't unit powers, so to say. The orbital bombardment here is usable by both the Inquisitor and by Gabriel. So, it's very intriguing to me to be able to say that, like, with 100% earnesty, that despite its long, extremely long warm-up, it is definitely one of the most powerful abilities I've ever seen. I find myself wondering, I'm not sure about time frame wise when this happens, but I'm pretty sure Astartes can wield las cannons. I wouldn't mind getting my Marines las cannons instead of the rockets.
Stay vigilant, brothers.
Because lasers are cool. Now, over here, now that we've captured these listening points here and we have a bit more of a sturdy defense, this is where the plan evolves. So now the far western flank will begin its raiding maneuvers. It's going to circle around the base and begin picking off enemy infrastructure. any buildings it can see, basically, with the rockets. Because the rockets have the longest range next to the sniper rifles of all the troops that I've seen. I think it's matched by the Stormbolter, but Stormbolter ain't going to do much to the buildings compared to the rockets. So the objective is primarily to begin... this is awesome. Now that the secondary base... Sorry, I got stuck there. Now that the secondary base has been absolutely devastated, this is going to severely hamper their ability to put out troops. So now, the raiding of the main base can begin.
Praise the Emperor.
Was actually afraid those guys were going to attack there, because I had the I have my squads capturing, so I would have had to pull the Predator over. But they ran away, so that's to our benefit. Yeah, so these boys here, they're going to just circle around. They're going to do nothing else. They're just going to slowly make their way around the base and shoot at any building they can reach. Boom, perfect example. Chaos Stronghold, perfect.
For the Emperor!
Defense-wise, they might get attacked, but if they do, I have the listening posts there to provide fire support, and I can pull them back as need be, and then I can try and pincer them between the scouts and the Space Marine squad, with the scouts using their sniper rifles to do heavy infantry damage. But yeah, now, I have to say, not to get copyright slapped, but we are approaching the endgame.
Under fire!
Right. So, this is, again, this is what I was talking about earlier, like much earlier, when I was commenting on the close-knit nature of this map. So even though we just took out their mini-base to the behind these troops now, we are already pushing up on the first defenses of their primary base on this side of the map at least. So it's just very intriguing to me to witness. It really has been a long battle, to be fair, but I haven't felt bored. As you all know, I had some major complaints about one of the earlier maps that had, that was the Eldar one, where we also had to fend off the Orc waves. And that was, yep, see, like I said, oh, and there's some demon summoning. But because we have the listening posts and our scout troops here that are anti-infantry, I feel a lot safer. Keeping in mind, this Space Marine squad, it has rockets, so they could handle a vehicle if it came. So this right here, this was exactly as I suspected what would happen. More importantly, though, let's wrap up that stronghold. Yeah, I'm not exactly scared anymore unless they send... If they do send a massive force over here, these guys will die. There's no doubt in my mind, it's literally 2 squads and one of them is scouts. So there's no doubt in my mind that if push comes to shove, this squad over here will die, but I am fully aware of that and I'm ready to counteract. Because we still have our troops in the center, which are playing defense, and we also have our force over on the far east that's pushing in. But, oh, what was I saying? Damn it.
I await your instructions.
Right, fun. I'm having fun. The earlier map where we encounter the Eldar resistance on the hill, on that massive uphill battle, and we also have to fend off the Orc assault waves, that got boring. Unfortunately, for me, I found it boring. It might have, again, it was probably just because of my playstyle was so clearly opposed to it. But the fact of the matter was, I found that level specifically quite boring, and which is a shame because the Eldar are a unique fighting opportunity with their stealth tactics and the way that they control the map. But despite the fact that this here too has been a very long, drawn-out battle, I haven't felt bored during it. The Chaos Forces have been constantly assaulting me, and it hasn't been easy. Now, I have been somewhat disappointed that I haven't seen another Bloodthirster. Like, with the way they hyped that up at the start, I was super excited to, like, have to fend off maybe a couple Demons of Khorne. Like, I was not against it. It would have been very fun, and I would have enjoyed the challenge. But again, with a game like this, challenge is what you make it. There is a challenge. There is a difficulty tab at the start of the level. If you want the game to be harder, make it harder. One of the greatest things of game design. But at this current difficulty, which for the record, by the way, is hard. I do all my playthroughs on hard because it's the medium setting for this game, which is very Warhammer 40k. I just wanted to. It felt like the best way to get a good example of what Prime gameplay is, and I haven't been disappointed, and this level here has not disappointed me. Constant assaults, constant just troops being thrown at me, and my troops have been suffering. I've suffered some serious heavy losses. Like, I've lost more dreadnoughts in this level than I've lost in probably all the other levels combined. It has not been easy in the slightest, and
for terror.
honestly, it was an uphill battle. A very large portion of this level has been an uphill battle of just trying to get my footing in. But now that I'm at the end, it's, I'll admit, I feel a lot more secure. I feel like this is the mop-up now because of this is how my tactics is meant to work. It is slow and methodical, but by doing what I have done, I have managed to attain a ample supply of resources. God, that was a good grenade throw. That was perfect. Sorry, I got off topic, but yeah, no, my playstyle is greatly suited towards a level like this, where the enemy forces did not stop coming. Fighting just to get over that bridge was the hardest part of this game for me, because getting that foothold in was not easy. Getting that foothold in meant slogging my way up through many enemy forces, and every time I thought that, alright, good, we've got the foothold secure, they would summon in an obliterator squad or some bloody possessed marines, and it was fun. It was a challenge, so I very much have been having a good time with this level.
By my command, attack!
So I think we can officially state that we are encroaching into the main base now. The reason our encircle plan has been very successful. Now it's just a matter of closing the noose. So over here, we'll move that squadron of scouts and rocket marines once we have a secure listening post. But for now, our objective is going to be to push up with Gabriel and the Inquisitor and their Predator tank. And they're going to focus on, we haven't really encountered any other major forces of infantry yet, which I am nervous about, because it's not unusual for these, for levels in this game to have a final army push. But considering that they've been pretty consistent with throwing against us everything from, like, Predator assaults to demon raids, maybe they just don't have any left, because they have been pretty heavy with, like, throwing everything they can at us. So, at this point, we're just going to focus on wiping out things as we go. At this point, this is a search and destroy mission. So, the cool thing is,
Follow me into battle.
unlike listening posts, taking out the plasma generators is a lot more simplistic, because I don't have to recapture them or anything dumb like that. It's simply a matter of that by destroying those, I am eliminating their ability to generate their power resource. So we're going to take out the barracks. Barracks is a funny word. I think I'm missaying it. Barracks. Yeah. Yeah, no, for now, our objective is going to be simply search and destroy. So with that squad over there doing their job, we're going to use the scouts to really fill in the blanks, because we want to get rid of all this fog of war. I don't want to get surprise attacked, I want things cleaned up. But our other squad here, the one that I'm moving right now, our other rocket squad, they're going to continue their raiding purposes. They're going to circle the base and proc buildings from the safety of their lower elevation.
Weapons at ready. It is time.
Again, it's all with the goal in mind of just quickly and efficiently eliminating any resistance. And by doing it from a safe distance, I don't have to be as concerned about their well-being. Although, like I said, I think our slow, methodical erosion of their defenses is showing fruit, because they really don't have anything left to throw at us. Even there, like, when we took we just took out one of their hell portals, one of their machine cults, and we took out one of their barracks. But the only resistance they threw at us was a single predator tank. So I believe, I hope I'm not being too preemptive in saying this, but I feel like we have successfully managed to pretty much eliminate the vast majority of any force they could hope to use to resist us. Which means that the rest of this level is cleanup. And then finally, we will get to Isador. We're beginning our final push now, which is why we're moving our Land Raider and Terminator Squadron in. So this is going to be the final push up the center. So we've got both flanks currently being assaulted. We've got raiding on the west, search and destroy on the east, which is now actually the rear of the enemy, because we've circled around back. So now it's all a matter of applying the hammer and anvil tactic of pushing them into our other forces. To facilitate this, we've got the most powerful tank in the entire Imperium. There he is! There's Isador! He is running boldly towards a dreadnought. Oh wow, okay, he hit our dreadnought and he suffered for it. I'm not gonna lie, to take out a rogue librarian, this is roughly what I would send after them. We've got a squadron of Terminators, a dreadnought, and a Land Raider. These are not bad odds. Oh, he's down! Oh no!
At your command.
I'm sure it would have been far more dramatic for us to have thrown Gabriel at him and let those two have their climactic end, but I have to admit, there's a certain amount of pleasure I draw from sicking, again, the Imperium's strongest tank on a filthy traitor. Oh.
Here to serve.
This is what I love. I've said it, I love this game, and this is just another thing that I love about it. When I throw it all together in the end, it's great. You get to see the climactic battles, you get to see these overwhelming troops, and as powerful as the hero units in this game are, they are very much not invincible, as proven by Isador's dramatic end just there. This is the most they can bring against us, is squadrons of Chaos Marines to battle against our Terminators and our Land Raiders. I feel so vindicated. There is the amount of Imperial pleasure I feel in crushing the heretic.
Of the Emperor.
This is glorious. This is what the Emperor of Mankind had intended for us.
Confirmed.
The destruction of chaos.
Faith and duty.
All hail the God Emperor of Mankind.
Agreed.
Sorry, in the words of text-to-speech, all hail the Man Emperor of Mankind.
Faith and duty.
Oh no, they did have some more troops. That's okay. I have some pesticide. I'm hoping the shockwaves are enough to eclipse them, otherwise our Land Raider's just gonna have to face tank them. And it doesn't matter if they're not. We'll still damage the buildings. I wonder if that's the counter to a Land Raider, is throwing heavy melee units at it. Not that I know, because the only melee units we have as the Blooded Ravens is those bloody Soul Troopers, who are, I still believe, treated very unfairly in terms of defensive ability. Oh, that's a lie, sorry. There are the Assault Terminator Squadrons, who have the Hammer and Shield. They're pretty cool. I didn't really get to see them at their best, but they were alright. They were alright.
Yes, Lord.
I believe there can't be that many buildings left. There can't be. We have severely, like, the map. There it is. It was just the last few holdouts.
You are a fool, Gabriel. You know you are no match for me.
Of all my brothers, why you? You were stronger than this.
I am stronger than you ever imagined. I can feel the universe tremble at my approach. Even the gods know my name.
No one will remember you, traitor. I will see to that.
Pathetic. You were great once, before doubt addled your will. Before you rendered judgment on Cyrene, before you murdered the innocent and guilty, all in one stroke. You weak, sorry fool! How does it feel to have slain millions? To have betrayed your own family?
I betrayed no one. Innocents die so that humanity may live. I ended their suffering, as I will end yours.
You have beaten me. I cannot believe it. I was wrong, Gabriel. So wrong. I thought I was strong. Strong enough to control it. I wanted to use the power for good, for the Imperium. You must see that. You must give me the chance to make amends, to seek redemption.
If redemption is what you seek, then that is what I will give you. This is the fate of traitors. Remember this, and do not stray. If you do, I will be ready to render you the same service.
It is done! We have vanquished the traitor in our midst. We have slain our own brother. Well, Gabriel has slain his own brother. And in doing so, we have redeemed the honor of the Bloodraven chapter. Oh, I feel so excited! All that's left is Sindri. All that's left is the retrieval of the Maledictum, or the destruction of it. At this point, I'm not sure what Inquisitor's Hearth is still about, but I'm willing to give him a little more benefit of the doubt than I was in the original. Still don't like the Inquisition, but like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But, first, we must end the Alpha Legion, and with them, Sindri. But such is an adventure for the next episode. I have been Deku Druid, and thank you very much for watching.